Hi everyone, welcome to Recalibrate You series episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about the proper way to get ready for a run, which is very important and crucial, especially if you're running frequently and often. So I am Sophie, one of the Adidas Runners captain for Singapore, and I have with me today Eugene as well as John.
Hi guys, my name is Eugene. I'm one of the captains for Adidas Runners Singapore. I lead the community on the weekly runs, and together with captains Sophie and Coach John, we organize and we plan out the sessions for you guys each week.
Hi, I'm Coach John. I'm the guy that looks after the whole Adidas Runners program. I design the running routes, the training programs, and the information and content for you guys as well.
The Jaga.
So today, Coach Eugene, we're going to talk about the importance of warming up. So, Coach, can you share more about the reasons why it's important to warm up? I mean, you what are you doing?
The importance of warming up, right?
So Coach, please, would you share like the importance of warming up, and also why is it that, I mean, a lot of runners actually don't even warm up at all, right?
Who?
No, there are many that don't warm up at all. So,
Hands
okay,
up.
yes, sorry, Coach, go ahead.
Well, okay, not to point fingers, but there's nothing wrong with not doing a warm up as well. But that being said, it depends on what type of run you're doing.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about, I guess, later is like the different type of runs and what kind of warm up you need to do to get ready for that run. You know, so why is warm up important in general? Warm up is important because you want to get your body ready to be ready to go and run, right? If you don't do your warm up, what's going to happen is you're going to get hurt, you're going to get injured. You know, you're not going to have a really good time running as well. So warming up really sets the tone and sets the pace for you to just get your body prepped and ready to just go out and do a good quality session.
So there's this term that always comes up, right? We talk about dynamic warm-ups. So Yuj, maybe you want to share, like, define that. I mean, most people don't know what it is.
Okay, so when we talk about warming up, like what John was saying just now about getting the body ready, right? I think quite often the old school way was to basically say, okay, let's stretch out the muscles. That's a static warm-up where you hold it and you actually just kind of stretch, hold it. But what's the problem with that? The problem is that your muscles, if you think of it like elastic bands, you know, if it's cold and you start to stretch it, you don't really get much benefit from it. In fact, you are risking it being overstretched, right? The other problem with it also is that you want to basically prep your body, not just your muscles, but you want to prep your whole body and all the systems so that it's warm. Like it's like starting a car, right? You don't want to just start it early in the morning when it's cold and boom, you get it going straight away. So how do you do that? You basically want to get fuel, you want to get the systems running. So dynamic warm-up basically means that you're going to be going through a range of movements that mimic the sport or the activity you're about to undertake, right? To, I guess, facilitate blood flow into those muscles that you're going to be using, and then therefore warming it up by driving oxygen and all the other nutrients to it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think it's a lot of words, right?
Yes.
And then we talk about movement and mobility and whatnot. Maybe, I think, Coach John, maybe you can demonstrate
We need a
some
demo.
examples of what dynamic warm-ups are, just so
Okay.
that, you know, they have a better understanding.
Okay, so to add on to what Eugene was saying, for warm-ups, right? Another reason why you want to do dynamic warm-ups is also because if you just sit there and stretching is is what the body recognizes as a signal to cool down. You know, so if you are about to head out to do a run and you're actually stretching, you're actually signaling to the body that, hey, you know, my run is done. I'm actually gonna cool down and warm down. So by doing a dynamic warm-up, you're gonna get your heart rate to go up, right? Your core body temperature is gonna increase. Your body's gonna take those signals and it's gonna learn that, hey, you know, it's gonna recognize and say, oh, you know what, something's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go out and do an actual solid session. So what we want to look at is that, okay, for dynamic warm-ups, when you're going to run, you want to look at your prime movers, right? What major muscle groups that you're using. And it's not just the big muscle groups as well, it's also the stabilizing joints and stabilizing muscles as well, right? You want to target those areas as well. And if you can get blood flowing there, you know that your body's going to be prepped and ready to do a good solid run. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about, I'm going to demonstrate to you, is leg swings. Okay, so what does leg swings do? Leg swings is basically focused on your hip area. Okay, when you run, obviously you're going to use your hips, right? You're going to use your glutes. So you want to get blood flowing there. How do you do that? Okay, you want to do that by making sure that you do the movements like this. So this is just the forward leg swings. So while you're doing this, you're making sure that there's movement here and there's blood flow going to be focused on this area here. Okay, then you got your side leg swings as well. So you're going in a different plane, right? First one we're going forward, now we're going to the side.
And John, why would
Okay.
that be important? Because, for example, when you're talking about running, right, we are going this way. Why? No one runs like this, right? So like, why do you think?
Okay,
Why do you
good
think that
question.
we need to do that?
Okay, so good question, Yuj. Okay, so the reason why is that you use your adductor muscles as well when you run. You may not
What?
notice it, your adductors. So while you're very, most people will be familiar with using your quadriceps and using your hamstrings to run and to move, you actually also use your inner muscles, your inner thigh muscles, which are what we call your adductors. Okay? If you don't warm them up well and you get like an injury here and a pull here, it's going to be impossible to run. So that's why that's actually really important to make sure that you're warming up your inner thigh muscles as well. Yeah. So the other one that's also really good to do is what we call lunges. Right? Very simple. So you're going to go forward, and then you're going to go back, up, and you're going to go forward again, and you're going to go back up. So that really promotes blood flow to over your knees, knee areas as well. Yeah.
Cool. I think besides that also, when we talk about running, right, quite often we think of running as lower body exercise, but as you can see from the pictures here, a lot of times we're using our upper body also. So I think it's quite important. Yeah. So I think it's quite important to
That's a
not
stretch.
neglect the dynamic warm-ups for upper body also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So for upper body, I can't really demonstrate here, but doing arm swings or shoulder rotations are actually very good. Shoulder rotations like that.
demonstrating
Yeah, I think that's enough space. Shoulder rotations really good. Okay. Forward, back, to the side, whatever, right? Again, to promote blood flow. Also, same with your torso. You want to do like your hip rotations as well. We often do that before we start our runs over AR. Yeah.
I think what's quite interesting now with the sessions that we do also is we split up into smaller groups, right? With safe distancing and all that. So it's interesting to see how the different crew runners also each have their own set of warm-up systems that they all have. Everyone has something different. Some would involve a bit more motion. I've seen, for example, our other captain Sherlyn, she likes to do like sideway hops.
Yeah, I saw,
You know,
that. I saw that last weekend.
And I've seen Nas, one of the crew runners, so he likes to do your hip cuts, which basically is involving a lot of hip rotations, but then he likes doing it moving forwards.
Yeah.
So with forward motion and stuff, that's doing it on the spot. So it's quite interesting. And the next time you guys are also at one of our Adidas runner sessions, you can just look around and see what all the other groups are doing, and you might be able to pick up a thing or two from how all the crew runners are leading their own different warm-ups.
Yeah. So before we end off today's session, we want to talk about run drills.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very important. I mean,
Yes.
okay, everybody assumes that, oh yeah, I can just put one foot in front of the other. So if I can walk, I can run. Okay, but this thing is that, running is still an art form. You still need to learn how to run properly. Not everybody runs perfectly. And there's always some area that we can improve on. So running drills is one of the best ways, as someone who's new to running, to really, like I mentioned in the previous episode, right, to nail down those good habits and making sure that you're really focusing on refining those techniques and making sure that you're starting on the right foot and that you're going to become a more proficient runner by putting that to practice.
So we're going to talk about four run drills today. The first one being butt kicks.
Yeah.
So as you can see on the screen, we have a demonstration of how butt kicks are to be done. And John, you want to elaborate more about that?
Okay, so butt kicks, are meant to teach your body to learn or teach your legs how to pick up on your heels. Okay, a lot of times when people, when guys are running and they're tired, they tend to drag their feet, all right? So butt kicks is a way to really re-energize your system, all right, and allow you to just remind yourself that, I need to pick up my feet at the back when I'm running, right? Not so much lifting your knees, but picking your feet off the ground, okay? And this is, again, when we talk about doing drills, you don't have to do drills before a run or after a run, which is typically what people would assume. You can do drills in the middle of your run. Sometimes when I'm tired and, I just need to refocus, right? I usually just stop, do a couple of drills just to make sure that I get back on track and then I head out again.
That's a
How
good tip.
about when you stop at a traffic light and then you're waiting and the light turns green, and then instead of running across the traffic light in front of all the cars, you do butt kicks across the traffic light?
No, so that's the thing. In the video, you can see that, Soph and Eugene doing butt kicks and moving, right? But you can also do butt kicks on the spot. Like, that's perfectly fine as well.
I just imagine in the front car sitting there waiting, and then you see this guy going across, butt kicks.
All on the spot, yeah?
Yeah, on the spot, if the traffic light is still red, right? Yeah. Or green, sorry. It's a red man, yeah. But anyway, okay, so the second one that we are going to demonstrate are actually fast steps.
Fast
It was
feet.
fast feet.
Fast
Sorry,
feet.
fast feet. Yeah,
Or what you call
the auntie shuffle.
Auntie shuffle. Yeah.
Yeah. So huge. What do you think about that?
That's quite interesting also. That I think that was one of the when we were doing the video, it was a bit interesting trying to coordinate it. But what this train helps you with is also, like I said, your coordination, and also sometimes when you see people running and with the arm swings, when we start to observe people running outside, it's quite funny. Sometimes you see all sorts of different motion and different patterns coming out.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the third one that we demonstrated, I think many are familiar with, are high knees.
High knees.
So that is something which we do very often. Basically, we do it even sometimes for warm-ups, right? Dynamic
Yeah.
warm-ups.
Yeah.
And this
So,
again important because opposite to butt kicks, I guess.
Yeah, opposite to butt kicks, it's important to learn how to lift your knees as well. I think if you're going to be, a stronger runner, lifting your knees is definitely important for opening up your stride, right? When you want to run a bit quicker, all right? So high knees, again, you just want to build again. It's all in the direction of becoming a stronger runner.
Yeah.
So high knees is something that you want to be familiar with. Otherwise, you're just dragging your feet, right? And you don't want to be someone, what we call a shuffler, right? We don't want to be a shuffler. Then you go to East Coast and you're running. Well, a lot of times you see people that just like to run flat, and you see them just shuffling away. All right. And not a problem, but those people that are doing the shuffle are going to end up stuck because there's only so much you can shuffle, right? How much quicker can you move your feet? You can't,
Yep.
right?
Yep,
So the only other way to become better and to move quicker is to be able to take bigger steps. So the high knees are really targeted on that.
Yeah.
I think another thing that high knee also helps is with positioning of how you land. Your feet strikes the ground. I think when you we talked that there's quite a lot of talk recently about heel strike versus midfoot strike versus forefoot strike, and
Yes.
when you don't lift your knees up, there's a tendency to do more heel striking because you're just going like this.
Yeah.
Right. So then you're more
Yeah.
likely to land on your heels. Your legs are
You're
fully
leading
straight.
with your foot rather than your knee.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think that's another benefit of the high knees drill.
Yeah. And then the final one, which was something that was very new for me as well, is the ankle bounce. So John is being very creative with this, but yes. So the hand coordination was
That was another hand coordination. Like bunny hop.
very strange, but yes. So the ankle bounce. So
Yeah, so ankle bounce, I picked out that particular drill because, as a running coach and as a runner, right, for a very long time, I never actually seen anything like it. So I thought something that would add value to runners of all levels. And I mean, like, running is like dancing, right? You have to learn to coordinate, right? If you are uncoordinated, you're not going to be a very proficient runner. And this is why when we do the drills, right? I mean, when we do the clinics and workshops, like to get new runners in, right? A lot of times when we get them to do the drills, you end up seeing all kinds of patterns coming out, right? Which
Yeah.
we all have a laugh, but end of the day, right? You really have to learn to get that coordination down, right? Otherwise, you're just opposing yourself, right? You're making things harder on yourself. Yeah. So the benefit of the ankle bounce really is to teach you again how to land as well, but teaching you also how to use your ankles.
Yeah.
Because running is not actually, you may think that running is from your quads and your hamstrings, right? And that's where the power comes from. But power actually comes from your ankles, right? A lot of power comes from right where the ankles and your calves are. So if you're not strong there, right, you don't have good technique there, it's going to really limit your ability to run proficiently. Yeah.
great.
One of the good things also with the drills we were doing was also with regards to form.
Yeah.
Right. So once again, just now we talked a lot about how a lot of people think of
Posture.
running as lower body.
Yeah.
So with all the drills and in the examples you will see, it helps you with, because now you're doing it. I guess it's being broken down a lot more. So with the drills, you're able to then focus a lot more on keeping the head straight, shoulders back, relaxed, and keeping that form straight while still having a slight lean forward. So I think that's why the running drills helps with all these things also.
Yeah, so running drills though, I think it's important that you buddy up, either have, someone to do it with or a group of people to do it with, take videos, don't be shy, get someone to video you, look at yourself doing it, and then, compare yourself, I guess, with the videos that we have, but these are ways that, again, it's for self-development, right? If you do it yourself and you become proficient in it, it becomes a lot better. Yeah.
So we'll sum up today's session. We talked about dynamic warm-ups.
Yeah.
We also talked about run drills. So these are things which you should be incorporating into your runs to better improve yourself and also to become a better runner overall.
Yeah.
Please stay tuned for episode 3 and 4. For episode 3 next week, we will be covering about running economy and about feeling your best each time you run. I think that's very important. So that's all we have for today, and thank you for being here with us.
And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please remember to put them into the question box and we'll look at them and answer them in a bit.
And before we go, the tip that, or rather the quote that John has given for episode 2 is, running is like dancing.
Nice.